You're welcome. Hey girl. So today we're going to be doing these locks that I have right here. So let's get into it. Hey y'all, so this is what you'll need for this style. Well, this is what I used for this style. So I used 2 packs of the butterfly locks 2 times by Locs, 18 inches. I got a pack of 4 and a pack of 2, color that is. And then I want to show you what the lock looks like, because we're actually going to use this for like the curly hair that's on like the outside of it and not like the full lock. But this is what it looks like. It has like that texture that we need, because you know, when I do a crochet style, I like to crochet locks, I like to wrap the base just for like extra security and tightness and just a bunch of other things. But this is what it looks like, and we're not going to use the whole thing. Like I said, we're going to use like the curly hair on the outside, but I will show you that later on in the video, like, you know, once we start like doing the lock and everything. You're also going to need the Bonita Crush locks. This is what the packaging looks like. It is like distressed locks. I got 24 inches. It's like the 2 times pack, and I used 4 packs. I had 72 locks in total, which I really didn't intend to do the locks as small as I did, but you know, I digress. And this is what they look like. I got like some color 2, some color 4, and like a color 30, I think it was. So I did like some mixing and stuff like that, because I wanted it to look just, you know, like earthy and, you know, things like that. But the locks are super pretty. When I first seen them, I was like, oh my god, I have to have these. But yeah, so you're gonna need a crochet needle and some scissors. So yeah, let's get started. Now this is the section that I'm gonna be working on. Now I intended for the locks to be a lot smaller than like the whole part, if that makes sense, but it didn't end up working out that way. So what I'm doing is, I already have moisturized my hair and everything, and I'm just going to start doing a braid. And then after I do the braid, I'm going to do a 2-strand twist for the rest of the way down, because I really didn't feel like just braiding the whole thing. And for the takedown, that would be easier for me if it's just like twisted at the end and then braided at the root. So yeah, I'm just gonna twist that all the way down. But let me just tell you a little bit more of what I was talking about earlier. Like, you see that one that's right there where like the part is much bigger and the faux lock is just kind of like in the center? I wanted all of them to look like that, opposed to like the one that's in the front where it looks like the lock is the same size as the whole part. I didn't really want it to look like that, because I didn't really want to have a lot of locks on my head. I wanted them to look just like the part was much bigger than the lock itself. But when like parting, I don't know, I guess I just kind of like made the parts too small. So anyways, but now that we got that twisted, we are gonna take the butterfly lock and we're gonna pull it apart. So like, it's this big thick piece of hair on the inside, and we're just gonna snatch the curly hair from around it, and then throw away the other piece, and we're gonna use like the curly hair that was like kind of like the shell of the butterfly lock. And I'm gonna cut the ends off, because sometimes they'll just, you know, come loose without any problem, but then sometimes they get knotted up, so I just cut them off. And then after I cut off like each side, I'm going to cut it in the middle too, because some of them were thicker than the others. So like, you could cut it in half and use one side for one lock and use the other side for another lock, or some of them were a little bit more thin and you had to cut it in half and use both sides for the same lock. But yeah, so then I'm going to just like fray out the ends, just so it's like, you know, not like super together. And then we're going to take the distress lock, the Bonita Crush lock, and now we're going to crochet that in. So we're going to pull, like, find the loop. Some of them were so like solid and just perfect and beautiful, but some of them were like a little bit less structured. So now we're going to put the crochet needle through, and then crochet, well, put the hoop onto the crochet needle, close it, pull it through, and then take it off. Sit the crochet needle down, because you're going to need both of your hands, and then we're gonna pull both pieces through, and then to, like, you know, tighten it, we're just going to pull the lock and separate it and pull the twist. So once it's through, the lock on one side, our hair on another, pull it to tighten it, scrunch the lock back up. And now this is just personal preference. I'm gonna like fold my hair in half and then wrap my ends around the base just to like keep it in place, so it's easier for me to wrap the other hair that we're gonna use around it, because, you know, just personal preference. It made it easier for me. But yeah, so now we're gonna get the hair that we already like frayed and stuff. We're gonna take that, and to make things easier, like positioning your hands correctly is really the way to go. So like get your lock and your hair and then position it correctly, get your thumb free, loop all of the hair together with your other fingers, and then wrap, making sure to like keep your pointer and your thumb finger like around the lock to control it. And then as you're wrapping down, you know, you just keeping that thumb and that pointer like, you know, in control of the lock and guiding the hair down. Now I like to wrap like just kind of messy, because the locks themselves are pretty like messy. They distress locks, so I didn't want it all to look like super neat at the root and then messy at the bottom, so I kind of start to wrap it a little bit more messy. And then all of these locks, I did not use any nail glue or anything. I literally just used, like how I'm showing you, that end of the hair, wrapping it very tightly around the lock, and that helped them to stay in place. When I tell you not one of these locks unraveled, not one of them unraveled. They're all still intact from the root down, like it's perfect. Now at the ends of the locks, because they didn't secure like the curly hair, some of, like I told you, some of the locks are not as structured as the others. So the ones that aren't as structured, the end kind of gets, it just kind of like the curly hair detaches and starts to like unravel on some of them. But it's really only something that I can tell, because it's, the curly hair is still attached, but it just kind of like is, you know, disconnecting a little bit from the whole lock, if that makes sense. Anyways, okay, so future me, this is what I mean. These locks are very much so still intact at the bottom, like it has not unraveled or anything like that. Now, like I told you, the top portion where I wrapped from the root down, that has always stayed intact. Like we have not had an issue with that at all. They have not unraveled at all. They're still very much so intact. Now the bottom of the locks look really, really good, right? Like I said, some of them are extremely structured and they stayed in place and they look beautiful. Now, whereas these locks, they have started to kind of like unravel because they were not as structured as the other ones. But like I said, it really was only a couple that did this, like probably 5 out of all of them. But you know, I just wanted to let y'all know like what's up, because some of them, like I said, were not as like structured as the other ones. But if you get a couple like this, what you can do beforehand, before you even put them in, is kind of like secure it with some nail glue or something so that they don't unravel. But yeah, I just wanted to show y'all that I did get a couple, very few, like I said, like 5 tops that did this, but I did want to let you know. Okay, so this is a major change of scenery, but this is the final product. And I love, these are very lightweight. I don't know if I said that already, like in the demonstrational part, but these are very lightweight. Like even when they got a little wet yesterday, like they didn't get like super heavy. However, these locks are not like that durable. Some of them are very like, you know, solid, but then some of them are not. But they've been holding up and I've been doing a lot. As far as like putting them up, taking them down, getting them wet. So, you know, they've been hanging in there and they still look pretty good. I love these for vacation because like I said, they are lightweight, so I can get them wet and don't have to worry about them like weighing me down. So love that for me and for you, for us. So thank you so much for watching. I'm gonna go give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. That's really, really, really important. Okay, and drop that in the comments and let me know what you thought. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. I mean, at this point, sis, you know what to do. So I'm gonna go. Enjoy the rest of your week, your weekend, whatever it may be. Peace and blessings. I'm about to go get me some drinks and enjoy my vacation.